UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. We Talk Too Much, whatever you want to call it. It has been so long. Rich, how's it going?
Good. Been a while.
It has. Yes, we are still here. We are still around. It's just life has this last couple months. Life has really just gotten in the way.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like, Richard, when it was more difficult for us to actually get together, we were able to do it more often. And now that it's like completely easy to do, sitting in the comfort of our own homes, it's just like, oh man, I got to work tonight, or oh man, I'm not going to get home until like 11 o'clock. But it's good to see you, Rich. I honestly, Rich and I haven't got a chance to see each other in a while, so we've got some catching up to do. Rich, how's everything going?
Good. A lot of stuff's going on, but I think most of it's taken care of, so I should be back on the road. I know I got a chance since I've been gone. One of my films has been shown a few different times in a couple film fests. It's the Cosmic Egg. It's sort of a remastered version of another film I did back when I was in college, and I was originally going to have it as a gallery loop video, but I submitted it to a couple animated or a short film fest, and it actually got selected. So
that is fantastic.
It's been showing down at Columbus at the Wex, which was really cool because Eric was down there. So
a shout out to our friend Eric Peppel.
Because I got a chance to talk to him, and then I finally got to meet some other people, and then it got picked up by the Hillard Short Film Fest. So it got shown there, and now it's going to be shown one more time coming up July the 14th, which is a rescreening of the original Highest Shorts, the whole program. So it's getting shown again at the Galaxy Complex. It's a art district or something down in Columbus and Franklinton. So check it out. Follow through on my Facebook page or Insta, and you can find it there. So, or check on the Wex website. I am so happy for you, Richard. I love that your work is getting a chance to be seen by other people. I just couldn't be happier for you, man. And I got to ask you, what was it like that first time when you're in the room and it comes on? Yeah, it was really cool to see it because it was down at the Wex, so it was in the big video part down there. I don't know if you've been down to the video where it's like a movie theater and stuff. Yeah, so it's basically just like sitting in a movie theater, and it got shown stuff. Because it was really funny. We had to like introduce ourselves and our films and stuff. And I told everybody, don't blink when you watch mine, because mine's technically not even quite 30 seconds long. I say it's 37 with the credits, but but it has a lot of time covered because it's the beginning and the end of the universe. So,
well, hey, speaking of, God, this is a horrible segue, Richard, because it's been so long since we got you. Speaking of things that are the beginning of the end of the universe, since the last time me and you have gotten a chance to sit down and talk, quite a few things have come, quite a few things have gone. We saw the series end of a couple shows. We saw the season end of a particularly great show. And I know we would be remiss, Richard. I know we're a few weeks behind, but God damn it, we have to talk about The Flash. The TV show. The actual end of the CW. It's not the Arrow. I will always call it the Arrowverse. The end of the Arrowverse.
Yeah. It actually didn't go out on a total whimper. It was kind of okay. Well, and you know me, it wasn't bad, but again, that is a very low bar to set anymore. Where okay, I love Cecile, I really do. I have a minor crush on Cecile because God love a show that's brave enough to put a person that is our age front and center, especially the CW. Oh, you're 29 years old? TikTok, sweetheart, you know. But first of all, the costume was cool, but I know we talked about this. When the hell did she become a Jedi?
Well, I think it's just her powers has been manifesting. What did what's his name say? It's always been there, but she just starting to use them or something.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, how did she go from being an empath to being Darth Vader? Because it's just like, oh, I sense that he's angry or upset. Okay, I get that. But dude, when she was force blasting Godspeeds all over the place, it was just like that made zero sense.
It's one of them things. They've lost everybody else on the show, so they had to give her powers.
And for for it to be the series finale, and even Cisco didn't bother. I guarantee you that was more probably. I don't know for certain, but you can't tell me that wasn't his decision. You know what I mean? It was just like, hey, we're doing a series finale. We want to know if you're interested. Hello? Hello? He hung up. He hung up. But no, it wasn't horrible. I will at least say, and I mean this unironically, that of the last couple season, it was probably the better episode. And I don't mean that just because it was the last episode.
No, how many was it? Four-part ending or whatever?
Yeah.
It kind of went back. It kind of went back and kind of took stuff from the first season, plopped it together, and finally decided it was over.
And the thing about it, the other thing that really bothered me about it was not only was it the Flash's season or series finale, like I said earlier, this was the end of the Arrowverse, of the Flashverse, of everything. And to not acknowledge any of the other shows that have ever had a tie-in with it.
Right.
I mean, that, yeah, I'm talking about Legends, god damn it. All that time travel BS, and you're telling me, Sarah Lance didn't get a knock on the door, or.
Well, they originally was supposed to have them on, but they only had like a reference episode. Remember, they had that one. I mean, they took time and brought what's her name from Supergirl over from the Dream Girl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dreamer.
Dreamer, yeah.
Yeah,
they took time they took time for that, but they couldn't do I think what happened is, didn't it get cut shorter than what they originally was going to have?
I think so. I will say this though, I can't remember if it was the actual finale, but bringing Steve Amell back.
Oh yeah,
Chef's Kiss. That was, and not even just because it was Steve Amell, but that reminded everybody why the Flash was so popular to begin with, was the dynamic between Barry and Oliver.
Yeah.
Barry and Oliver was like a parallel to Oliver and Diggle, where it was Oliver and Diggle were brothers. Oliver and Barry was big brother, little brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had that dynamic.
And it was kind of nice to end it that way too, because, with this series kind of starting over there on Arrow, and then this was the last. So it just was kind of convenient. They wrapped everything up,
Yeah. But speaking of shows wrapping up, but luckily we got news that this wasn't the last season. It does seem kind of poetic, Richard, that it might not have been the CW at the time, but the whole superhero TV shows of our generation like this started with Superman, Smallville,
Right.
and is bookending with Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
That is pure poetry. I love that.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what they're going to really do. Are they going to move away from the Smallville setting then? Is that why they got rid of everybody so they could cut, budget?
That's what I'm worried about. Because so since the last time we talked, there was talk that at the time we weren't 100% sure there was going to be a 4th season of Superman and Lois.
Right.
And it was kind of a give and take where it's just like, well, we have good news and we have bad news. What do you want first? Well, we want the good news. Superman as Lois is renewed for season 4. Fantastic. That is great. What's the bad news? Everybody but the Kents is out. No, I take that. Yeah, no, the Kents. Because Sam's going to be gone too.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but the thing about it is that this is what makes me nervous. And this is one of the things I have praised this show about was this wasn't a Superman show. This was a Kent family show.
I don't think next year.
And that was Superman and Lois did well what I have been complaining about with the last few years of Flash. Flash it felt like overly dependent on everybody but Flash.
Right.
We had almost an entire season where all the background and supporting characters had way more screen time than the Flash himself. And it was bad. Superman and Lois has been able to take their background characters, flesh them out, make compelling stories, and do it good, to do it well.
Yeah, it had its rough moments though too.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yes.
Almost like any show, but but now it just seems like are we just going to reboot it and start like a couple years in the future? Is the kids off to college or
Because that's what I really don't know how they're going to get around it because we're not going to have any of the Langs anymore.
Right.
Lana's not gonna be back. The daughters, the ex-husband. I feel bad because I genuinely should. I just watched the season finale a couple of days ago, and I really do. I'm just horrible with people's names right now. But the ex-husband, the woman that works at the Smallville Press with Lois,
yeah,
she's gone. Literally, this is no exaggeration. Even John Henry and Natasha are. The CW has come out and said that they will not be back.
Yeah, like I said, they must be going to jump this forward a few years and kind of start over. And of course, at least we got Lex Luthor now.
Which I'm mixed up, but we'll get to him in a second. But one thing I'm wondering, Richard, I haven't heard anything about it, purely my speculation, but I'm wondering because especially the way they left John Henry and Natasha getting hired by the DOD, quote unquote, full time,
right?
But having to move to Metropolis, kind of, because even Natasha dropped the 2 words I have been waiting to hear because John Henry, Steele, and Natasha are legitimately 2 of my favorite characters in DC Comics right now. Steelworks.
Right.
They said the words. So my fingers are crossed. I know it's not going to happen, but I'm hoping maybe we're going to get a spinoff.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or at least they're not killing everybody off. They're They're doing that, and with the budding, quote unquote, budding romance between Lana and John Henry, hell, maybe she goes with him.
Yeah, but I just don't think they're going to invest in something like that.
I
That's
don't
just.
either. I don't.
I'm sorry. It just doesn't impact what the WB Discovery, whatever they're calling themselves this week,
Yeah,
mindset,
yeah,
because it's across the board cut,
yeah.
you know, and it imploded basically almost, you know. I think we were just shy of the bubble just totally busting, but it just kind of, instead of that, it just kind of inwards. It was a little opposite from what I actually thought was going to happen, which is kind of weird me, because I really thought they was just going to run out of money and then just go belly up, but they kind of put the brakes on a few months ahead of going totally belly up, you know.
I had, honestly, between me and you, Richard, I had mixed feelings about the announcement that the CW was going to do a 4th season of Superman and Lois, because my fingers were crossed that they were going to pull a Titans and just like, okay, look, Max, here, you do it.
Yeah.
You do it. I mean, if anything, just to hear, because we know Superman wouldn't, but you know Lois is going to drop an F-bomb once or twice. You know what I mean? Superman is not going to, but Lois is going to drop an F-bomb. So I really did. I was really hoping. I mean, even if it was going to be one season, I would have loved to seen what the Max is could do with Superman and Lois. Because, dude, we were nervous about Titans. I mean, we knew it was going to be the last season, Titans and Doom Patrol. But when Max got a hold of those two shows, holy shit, those were good.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the last seasons, but
of course they're done now too. So
yeah.
But I do want to sidestep. Titans was really good this last season.
No, they were. That was really good. And to bring Brother Blood, who you and I know, Richard, when it comes to Titans, Brother Blood is.
That was one of the first of the new era of Titans villain, you know, and to bring him in and stuff, you know, that was really good, you know.
Yeah. And dude, his whole thing about the using the app, the game app. Dude, that was genius, because I mean, let's face it, if there's evil geniuses out there of that caliber, dude, that's the way to do it.
Right.
You're telling me you hit subliminal messaging in Candy Crush? Oh, we're effed. It might not hit everybody, but it'll hit enough of the population where it's going to be fallout.
But no, I just think, you know, we'll just see where everything goes now. You know, I mean, everything stepped back, and like in the movies, you know, movies are big shakeup now. You know, we don't even know what's happening. Definitely for sure, even there, you know, because at least we get Blue Beetle coming up.
I am really excited for that. And I mean, movie wise, we don't have anything really substantial to look. I shouldn't say look forward to in Marvel, but it.
Well, I want to see Marvels. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm
still in love with Brie Larson. You know me.
Oh, yes. Oh.
I don't care what the fanboys say. She as Captain Marvel is just.
Oh no, I agree with you 110%, man. I have a hard time anymore. It's like, for me, Richard, like when I read any Avengers comic books, or even a couple Iron Mans here and there, I hear Robert Downey Jr. Captain America, I hear Chris Evans, I hear Anthony Mackie. You know,
yeah.
I'm the same way with Carol Danvers now. I can't. It's Brie Larson, and I'm the same way with Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. Which, by the way, don't you fucking get me started on that comic book bullshit. Oh, angry rant coming here in a minute. But we'll get to the comic book in a minute. But I don't know, Rich. It just I don't think the bubbles burst, but.
No, they stopped it right before it busted. You know, it's funny how they just pulled everything back. And of course, now the writer's strike is affecting things, which I'm all for the writers, because they need to get their share. I
No,
mean, it's just how with streaming. That's why they're pulling so much off all the streaming apps. They were paying way too much. I mean,
Yep.
not that I don't mind them paying, but they was going to run out of money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? These streaming apps, everybody thought this was so great. You could, even me, I thought was you could put everything together, but you just really can't do that. If you look at the logic behind it and all the amount they have to pay and everything, they make more money by exporting it to, say, like Tubi or somebody like that, because
Yeah.
they get their costs back, which helps in the long run. Just like, Warner Brothers one movie out right now that's not even going to make close to what it's supposed to right now.
Yeah.
I mean, when they had like so many flops back to back, it's just not helping. If you can't make money, just look at Disney. Disney's losing money too.
Yeah.
They're just bleeding.
I mean, you and I are both old enough, Richard. We've seen the trends before, and granted, the Marvel superhero trend lasted a lot longer than we anticipated.
Oh yeah, totally.
Way longer than we anticipated. But the thing about it is, though, westerns,
No,
sci-fi. I mean, sci-fi has never gone away, but it's not like it was.
right? Yeah,
It's not like it was. And when Marvel first started really pumping out the movies, everybody thought the same thing. Oh, this is a trend. Let's jump on the bandwagon.
yeah.
It lasted way longer, but we are getting to that point now where do we go from here? Are people still?
I saw that we're going to sidestep me again. I went and saw Asteroid City. Oh my god, that was such the craziest movie.
I love no that's the one Wes Anderson and
Right.
Oh no, you did like it?
Yes, I actually did. I enjoyed it. Of course, I felt weird because I was laughing at some stuff that I got that no one else in the theater. I was one of those again. It's like,
Yeah.
do I laugh? I mean, that's worse than Indiana Jones. When I was laughing at stuff that people didn't get either. But it was like I'm sitting there going, but it's all I could say. It's a TV show behind the scene of a play with the play stuck in between.
Okay.
Because if you really understand how plays are put together, how
Right.
production of TVs, documentaries of something like that, it's like all that put together all at once.
Kind of, I hate to use the word meta, because it feels like even meta's become meta. Saying meta has become meta.
It's just so bizarre because the stuff that's going on behind the scene is part of what's going on the scene, because it's like a play. So, like when things happen behind the scenes, stuff happens and changes the direction of the play and stuff like that all happen. It was just so bizarre,
No, I am a big Wes Anderson fan. I really do. And Wes, does it feel like it's one of those movies, Richard, where you have to watch it, and I mean this in a good way, you have to watch it more than once to really appreciate everything?
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that I know I probably missed too, but I really enjoyed. Of course, I happen to almost have a private screening. There was me, a couple behind me, a mom and dad and a daughter that actually made it through the whole thing. Another younger couple up there that didn't even make almost 30 minutes into, and they were gone. It was like, this isn't what I thought. This ain't no alien invasion destroying, with somebody coming with planes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought it was like an alien invasion movie, and it wasn't that.
Did you not watch? Had you not seen the Royal Tenenbaums? did you go into the aquatic life of Steve Zissou and get upset that it wasn't like the Poseidon Adventure? Come on.
But no, I just love that. And if you get a chance to see that and you're a total fan, just go see this. This was really, and the way it was filmed was just, it was so surreal because it felt like you was watching a play, but at the same time it had the depth. It was just weird. If you know anything about how like stage productions get made behind the scenes and stuff, it had that feel of watching it, but it felt like it was 3D space. It was just so bizarre. The sets.
You know what that reminds me of, Richard? that is one of the perfect ways to describe one of my favorite movies called The Imposters with Stanley Tucci and oh my God, he was the Three Musketeer, Oliver Platt.
Oh yeah.
Where they play two failed actors that get, accidentally stowaways on a luxury cruiser during like the 1930s. But I know exactly what you mean, because the entire movie felt like a play.
Yeah, yeah.
The way it was shot.
It just filled that whole thing. It was really neat. I liked it. And the angles and the staging just really worked for this movie,
Mm-hmm. But Wes Anderson, I mean, come on. I mean, that is.
Okay, I digress. Sorry, we threw everything off. We were just talking about the downfall of Warner Brothers and Disney starting to crumble. And
No, I love the fact, because this is what puts the we in We Talk Too Much, not Mike. Bring it, brother. No, I'm really glad to hear that, because I really want to see that one, because, again, I'm very familiar with Wes Anderson's work, and I'm very familiar with how he utilizes his talent, the people in his movies.
Yeah, and I almost forgot that Scarlett Johansson was in it. She comes on screen. They're sitting there in the dining room. I'm going, wait, that's Scarlett Johansson. I didn't even remember. I didn't even look. It was so bizarre. I went into this without knowing nothing, and I don't do that often.
Yeah,
I went into this not even knowing who was going to be in it. And that was just the crazy thing, because it was one of those spur of the moment. Let's just go see it. And I went and saw it, and it was just, because I went up to the Findlay, the AMC up in Findlay to see it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just out of the blue. Just it was like, I think it was Sunday night. Remember how I used to go to the movies all the time on Sunday, and I kind of stopped doing that. And I just said, I'm just going to run up and see it. So I went up and saw it.
I did want to mention, speaking of movies, I haven't got a chance to see it yet, and I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned it, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Right.
I want to ask you your opinion, but I wanted to tell a quick story, because it was one of those rare moments, Richard, where being the uber geek that I am, it gave me hope for future generations of nerds. Where my girlfriend and I went down to the Easton Mall down in Columbus, where there's a gigantic, beautiful AMC movie theater. We didn't quite time it right where we could see Indiana Jones, so we just decided, to walk around downtown, Easton. But as we were coming back, we were cutting back through the mall, because I parked in that area. One of the showings for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny had just let out. And as we're walking through the mall to get to the parking lot, in front of us was a family. There was like 4 of them, 4 or 5 people in front of us. But the 2 in the middle, now they had their backs to us, we were behind them, were dressed as Indiana Jones and Marion Ravenwood. Now, I mean, Marion with like the red pants and the blouse. And Connie and I were just like, oh my God, that is so awesome. But what made it even better was when we got to the doorway, they opened up the doors, and the gentleman that was dressed as Indiana Jones held the door open for me and Connie. That kid couldn't have been more than 22, 23 years old. He was a younger kid. And to see someone, God, Richard, I don't want to say generation. I'm not saying generation. But to see someone that age, there was no convention. There was no cameras. This young couple did this all on their own for no other reason but the fact that they love this movie. I wanted to hug the kid. I was like, he opened the door for us, and me and Connie we both told them how great they looked. And you could tell they were just tickled. But I was so happy. And all I asked them was, haven't seen it yet. What did you think? Because I'm going to trust the opinion of the dude that's dressed as Indiana Jones and the young lady that's dressed as Marianne. they both looked at me and said, "We loved it." And I'm like, I don't need to hear. I'm going to hear from you. But I was like, I don't need to hear from anybody else. That was chef's kiss perfect. But please.
Yeah, I totally enjoyed it. I mean, it felt more like Indiana Jones than maybe the last one, but you know.
What last one, Richard? You mean The Last Crusade? Wink.
But no, I did that. Except I did find one time period mistake, and I don't want to point that out because it really tells how old I am. Because he was watching something on TV that wasn't out in August of 1969. It didn't come out until September. But that's beside the point.
You okay? Yep.
It was kind of funny, but you know, because I'm sitting there, I'm laughing my head off because I know the mistake. And I didn't even look it up on Google until afterwards just to make sure I wasn't crazy. But he literally, this one part, he was watching something on the TV, and I go, that didn't come out until September the 9th, and the day was August the 13th, 69. So
God damn it, I love that.
The guy was 3 watching that, so but you know, it's one of them things. I really did, you know, and I will say the de-aging process is getting better and it's getting scarier.
Yeah, dude. I mean, because you can't reference the de-aging without mentioning the two terrifying word. Well, deep fakes and AI.
Right.
It is a mixed blessing where I have seen some.
Well, I put out. Did you notice for Star Wars Days this year, UVN's little photo that I posted out there, a picture I posted out there?
I didn't.
I posted an image for Star Wars Day, right? On May 4th, right?
Yeah.
Didn't it look a little off? It was AI generated. It was my first.
You go straight to hell, young man.
I was playing around with one of these because no, I have justification because I read an article that the Warhol Museum had put out about that if Andy Warhol was around, he would be playing with AI. They actually would predict he would be doing that. So I went online and found this one, and I was playing around, and I typed in Star Wars Day, and that's the image that came up. And it was an image of like a bunch of people sort of dressed up like Star Wars people.
I know what you're talking about now. Yes. Okay.
But the one thing that really took a lot of people off just a couple weeks ago is the opening to Secret Invasion.
Yes. Okay. Look, I'm all for it. Let's jump right in.
Did you like how I did that?
Well, yes. Luckily, you and I haven't got a chance to talk in a while, but we're only 2 episodes right now into Secret Invasion, and yeah, I know what you're talking about. I read that. I got to admit, I don't know if they were just covering their asses, but I like the way the studio explained why they did it. It wasn't about screwing an artist over, but they knew that AI stuff had that weird, surreal feel to it. And I'm sorry, but it worked. The point that they were trying to get across, because it looked like you could tell right away that it was AI. All of us have probably seen enough AI stuff to know the cues to pick up. But you could tell that it was AI, but it looked creepy. And I think that is really what they were going for. I'm sorry, it worked. I understand they got backlash for it, but
yeah, it was one of them things, you know. I mean, AI is going to be kind of crazy these days, so you know.
And AI is like the perfect example of the good and the bad, where It's the Jedi and Sith of the art community, because you can do a lot of really good with it. Because I'll be the first to admit, I have friends that like to do the cute, quirky stuff. Like, what would the Avengers look like if they were holidays? Or, what would Star Wars characters look like if they were Ninja Turtle? Okay, that's cute. But at the same time, Richard, we're adults here. There is a really, really dark side to.
Yeah, here's the image I was talking about.
Yeah.
It didn't quite understand Star Wars, did it? It did,
No.
but didn't. And it was crazy, when I designed that. When it came up, I go, what the?
Yeah. But yeah, the AI, that is a conversation. That is a roundtable discussion for
Oh
another.
yeah, we should do something later on about that, because
yeah.
I'm always nervous that people think probably a lot of my glitch art could be like AI, but it's not. It's actually a program that I use that I put photos in, and I use it to manipulate the images, but I'm telling it exactly what to do. It's not just doing it on its own.
You put way more effort into it than what I'm going to paraphrase, but it's like my complaint. I use Photoshop.
Right.
If I put, granted, I am not. There are artists out there that put way more work into it, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff that I do Photoshop for fun stuff, like especially the superhero stuff, I put work into it. But at the same time, there are apps on your phone where one click of the button, kiss my ass.
Yeah. Well, Photoshop's getting scary. Have you got the beta yet?
Oh,
It's got AI built into it. It just does. You just kind of tell it what you need it to do. Like, say you want to fix something or something, you just basically point out this area, and you can manipulate to do whatever you want now and stuff. And the pixelization, I mean, it moves them around, makes it look good.
Because it used to be like when I first started, if I wanted to, perfect example is one of the things I always loved doing was cropping somebody out and putting them in like a comic book scenario. If that person had hair, that was a chore.
Oh yeah, hair was crazy.
It was hard. I mean, I'm one of the old school ones where you had to go in almost strand for strand. And then the layer mask came around and it got a little easier, and it got a little, it was still effort, but now it's just like, click on your background.
Yeah, it's gone.
Whoa. Yeah.
So this digital stuff is just getting crazy. I just downloaded another software that does like that crazy stuff like I do with all that stuff, but it's really a neat software. It's really expensive too, but I didn't pay the full price. I'm in like a class right now. So it's pretty cool. but like I said, this is going, makes things just crazy. But Secret Invasion just,
Let's jump right in. We're 2 episodes in. Spoiler alert, we are going to talk full on about what happened. I gotta admit though, Rich, the first episode was a little duller than I expected. It was.
Yeah, it was kind of setting everything up though.
You
got to give it just a little room to breathe, because technically Fury's been gone, even though we thought he was on Earth, but he's been gone. So, and this proves he's been gone.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that they're leading towards it. We know it's coming. Because it was Maria Hill, God rest her soul. Sorry, spoiler alert. Why? When he came? Even the head scroll, the one we met in Captain Marvel.
Talos,
thank you, dude. Because I really like that actor.
Yeah.
He's one of those ones that he's probably been around for a long time, but it feels like within like the last 5, maybe 10 years. Hey, it's that guy. Hey, it's that guy. I recognize that voice. I've heard that voice. I really like him, and I am so glad that he is back.
Yeah, I just think we're gonna learn a lot. By I don't know. They're only having 6 episodes, so I don't know how much we're really going to get out of this. But I hope we figure out why the Skrulls are on Earth. I know they lost their home. They want Earth to terraform, and I think in real life that's happening now. Anyhow, with all the smoke and stuff. But
But yeah, there are questions that need to be answered because at the end of Captain Marvel, we saw Talos on the ship.
Yeah,
gone, and I don't mean just like impulse speed. Dudes were going warp factor 10. They were gone.
We know for sure they something was on Earth because you remember when they got called in, they were like the replacements for Fury and stuff.
Yeah,
in Avengers Endgames, right? It wasn't, or which one was it? I don't know, but it was one of them. Where they were impersonating them. Before, but I kind of heard, I figured out a little bit that the blip is what really hurt Fury.
Yeah, something really, really triggered. I hate using that word, but something was very triggering for Fury when he came back.
Right.
And
so I hope we learn more, but just that very last sequence in episode 2 was just like, oh.
Oh yeah, we'll get to. But first episode, yeah, I there's so many damn questions, Richard, because like I said, we know that they left, but now not only did they
they never found a home, basically, because that's what they were saying.
Yeah,
because it said Fury let them down, so they were basically after Fury, and they want Earth as their home now because they couldn't find anywhere.
So yeah, it wasn't even. This was the thing that Talos kept from Fury. That not only was it the core group of refugees, it was everybody. Like, come on down, everybody. Which this is the one thing that bothers me, and it even bothered me in the comic books, Richard, was we know for a fact that if a Skrull dies or even gets like their finger cut off during a great torture scene, they revert back to being a Skrull, and or the appendage goes back to being a Skrull.
Right.
If there's that many millions of them here, none of them died.
Oh.
None of them died. None of them were killed. None of them were mugged. None of them died in a car crash. None of them. You know what I mean?
It's a story.
Unless it came out that there was like a massive cover up, but
there's always
that was the only beef I had, because I understood that that they had refugee camps in like Chernobyl. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
But the way he made it sound like that there were millions, statistically speaking, none of them died in front of somebody else that would have like raised the red flag.
Yeah, true.
But still, again, that's just me being the uber nerd. But it was still, and I like that it's still a matter of you have the good Skrull, and it's just like humanity. You have good Skrulls, you have bad Skrulls. It was the same thing that they always used in the X-Men comic books. You have good mutants, you have bad mutants. Well, guess what? You have bad normal human beings and you have good normal human beings. You have to take the good with the bad. And I like that it's, Talos is like, shit, stuff got out of hand. He knows that something's going wrong.
And then this, the taking advantage of the Earth being unstable anyhow, and all this stuff between the nations and stuff, so it wouldn't take much to flip stuff on Earth, No,
that was genius. Oh my God, I could separate the artist from the actor from the role, but the moment I saw Shooter McGavin on the screen from Happy Gilmore as the one like CNN guy or whatever,
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, that dude. I was just like, Shooter.
Well, did you notice that the network was FXN? Did you notice where that's from?
Well,
No, that's Daredevil.
yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. So now is Daredevil canon?
Well,
Hopefully we'll figure out more, in Reborn.
Hey, Matt's been acknowledged in Spider-Man, and I don't care what anybody says. I loved She-Hulk. She-Hulk is canon. I'm sorry, but Daredevil is canon MCU.
So and that makes sense, but I don't know. It's so only 2 episodes in, we got 4 more. I just hope they can do something that's worth it, if you understand what I'm saying,
Yeah. But one of the big things that came about in the last couple episodes was they did my girl. Man, they did Maria Hill like they did Coulson, man.
Right.
They pulled a Coulson, which that has been the ongoing meme right now. Is she truly dead? Because there was like a scene where they showed a picture of Maria, and then they edited in a picture of Coulson. It's like, let me talk to you about the Tahiti Project. Tahiti, it's a magical place. I was like, oh God. But yeah, the general story is intriguing. It's just like Fury said it best. How are we like with that conversation he had with Rhodey, like how are we supposed to fight somebody when we don't know who it is we're fighting?
Right, yeah.
That is some next level, and I love the interaction between Rhodey and Nick, where it was just like, Rhodey was shooting him down, like, don't you pull that brother card on me, man. and then even before that was like, step down, Colonel. Like, oh, don't pull rank on me. No.
I always love it because I'm always in when I'm out, but I'm always in.
Yeah, even when I'm out, I'm still in. I did love, man, and that was so far for me, it's the line in the show, but when him and Talos were talking about, when Talos was like, I'm not even 40 in scroll years yet. It's like, you had your midlife crisis. What did you get? Did you get a Ferrari? No, I got the Avengers.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was good.
Oh.
So far, it's like anything else, I'm gonna watch it, but I am not, Rich. I'll be the first to admit I am not like, ooh, Secret Invasion's on tonight.
Oh.
I'll watch it when I remember it. I mean, even Ms. Marvel, I was like, is it Wednesday? I'm gonna watch. Oh, I can't wait for the new episode of Ms. Marvel. I can't wait. Secret Invasion. I'll watch it. Okay.
Well, I literally watched Captain Marvel, the original, the lead up to this, just so I remember what was going on. And it's got some things, but it just feels like some things just isn't meshing or something,
Yeah.
I just hope they do tell what really happened. It's like are we ever going to get that missing hunk of what really happened when they went off into space?
Yeah. And where and when did Sword happen?
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. That is a gigantic ass space station. We need some backstory. We need a little history,
Right. Yeah, it's like is who's really in charge? You know, I mean, I mean, Shield's been gone, so who's
Yeah.
really? You know, I don't know. Just one of them things, you know.
Like, who's fitting the bill for this one? And so far, there's nothing really. I guess maybe it's just because it doesn't feel like there's a sense of urgency because, okay, at least with Loki, we knew the direction was gearing towards Kang. So
Right.
there was that level of excitement. I don't, as far as I know, Richard, this isn't really leading anywhere.
Well, I think Marvel's in a situation like DC, you know, when their main emphasis was going to be on Kang, and are they going to replace Kang? Are they going to stay with Kang? Or
You know, if we're going to talk about Richard, here's my opinion. Write me if you disagree with it. Recast him and don't mention it.
yeah,
Because look, this isn't like 1985 where we didn't have the internet and it's like, why is Val Kilmer Batman? What happened to Michael Keaton? We don't know. No, we know what's happening.
just go back to Bewitched. Who cares? Darren was replaced with Darren.
Look, we don't need an in-movie explanation when the entire flippin' world knows that dude did dirty. Okay? Just bring us another actor and just move on from there. That's all they got to do.
Yeah.
Because Richard, I mean, come on. Even your diehard nerds, who is going to argue? Oh, I can't believe they recast him. Yeah, you do. Shut up. You know exactly why.
Well, you know, I think what it really is everybody's. You know, I don't get me wrong. I do understand when the one that played Black Panther, he died in real life. He was going to be hard to recast.
Right.
So that paid respect.
Yes.
It's just like General Ross. You know, Harrison Ford steps in.
Exactly. Yes.
That's not the same in my mind. It's two different things. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. When you're, yes. Yeah. No, I fully agree. Just bewitch him. Bring us another actor. Continue doing what you were doing. Just hire somebody else. Do a little bit more of a Hey, Marvel, do a little bit more of a background check.
Yeah, have him get punched by the thing. He had to get a new face. You know. Oh,
dude, this is Kang we're talking about. He stepped on a butterfly in 1805, which caused his horse to fart in his direction and changed his mother's face or something.
Well, you know, just play it off like they did Hulk. You know, oh, I feel different today or something.
Yeah. Have it so he changes his look because he thought the Council of Kangs was going to be hip, but he screwed up and he did it too early, and now all of them look like him too. I don't know, but no, I see what you're saying. It's like, what are we going to do? Well, they're underestimating their audience. Well, our audience isn't going to be able to handle having a new actor. The hell we're not. The hell we're not. Hell, even the younger kids, they'll find themselves needing to explain it to us older people. Like, well, you understand why yeah, we get a little shit. I understand why. Ask your grandma about Bewitched. But yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, you got to figure everything with Secret Invasion was in the works way before the controversy with the actor that played Kang.
Yeah. So I don't think Secret Invasion will have anything to do with that. But I just have a feeling that I hope that Marvel can just like step back, hopefully we get all this situation with the writer's strike, and then we can get people back writing
Yeah.
and kind of get some strong stories and get some, not like the movie of the week type stuff,
That's what it boils down to. Yeah, that's speculation is one thing, but until we can focus on getting the writers back to work, it it doesn't matter anything right now.
But I do want to mention something else, though. I'm really off topic again.
No, hit it.
The new Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. The third episode. I'm gonna spoil this. I don't care. I know you don't. You're into it, but you're not into it. This isn't a spoiler, but this is something you need to listen to. Romulan time travel. It's you know how like on most time travel stuff, there's always something that has to happen. Like a fixed point. You know how Marvel has stuff that you can't change, or like in the Flash movie,
a canon event.
Okay. Well, Star Trek, Khan, right?
Yeah.
He has to exist. Well, you know how things have become a little wobbly lately because that supposedly happened back in 1996, and we're a little past that. Well, the third episode of Strange New Worlds explains what's going on, why, and I love their new explanation. I don't want to ruin too much, but listen to what the Romulan time traveling agent says. She explains how Khan has to exist. And it's just one of them things. You can have things wobbly. I mean, you and me are Doctor Who fans. Things have to happen sometimes. Well, Khan has to happen, but it just didn't happen in 96 now. It can happen in, say, 2050 now.
Okay. As long as the event happens, it doesn't exactly matter when it happens.
Right. And I like that idea in Star Trek time travel continuity now. I kind of like being able, the event has to happen, but it might not happen.
Perfect example, Richard, and we haven't got a chance to talk about it, but Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Because think about it, Richard. Think about the perfect example of it is like Spider-Man Noir.
Right.
That didn't happen in our current time period, but the events that took place to set that particular Peter in motion, still had to happen
in that divergent or whatever. And it's just really cool. I never thought about time travel that way, and now it's like totally, yes, they can correct like a lot of errors, not just in Star Trek, maybe in other, things can be said, oh, it just can't happen then, but the event has to happen, I mean, that's like, in Spider-Verse, Miles screwed things up. When you become a sergeant, you have to die.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen? And then if he didn't become sergeant, then he doesn't die.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre that way.
No, I'm telling you what, Richard. The more and more I see about Strange New Worlds, between the third, I hate the way they're doing it. The first part of the third and final season to Witcher, as of us talking, just dropped like last night.
Oh, okay.
Get to see it. I'm going to, because God damn it, if it doesn't impress me, I'm done. Witcher was my last straw for Netflix. And I told myself, when I get rid of Netflix, it was either going to be a coin toss, Richard, between the Peacock, just because of The Office, and Paramount. But the more and more I'm seeing about Paramount, the more and more I'm seeing about Strange New Worlds, I need to watch this show.
I like Paramount Plus, and you also, there's this other series that's, a little not quite what we usually talk about, but it's kind of funny. Carly and what's his name Freddie got together on iCarly.
Wait a minute. So is it actually like properly? What's her name? Jeanette Mc? Because she just read it.
No. It's
Oh,
it's
no.
Freddie, you know, it's Carly is now officially dating Freddie.
Oh,
officially.
okay.
It's in the 3rd season of the new iCarly.
I do. I will. That was a guilty pleasure. I do remember watching iCarly, and it was. I liked this show.
Local access. It's just like what we were doing. That's the sad thing.
I know.
Or not local. It was internet access, just like what we were doing.
Yeah.
That's why I was watching it. It was just so funny.
But one of the big things is because what was it? Oh, I know I always talk. I really want to watch Brave New World. I have for a while,
right?
Especially because I really like the cast, like the Anson Mount. But I didn't realize this, Richard. I knew him, the guy that plays Kirk, or no, not Kirk. Is he Kirk or Pike?
Pike. Pike is the main captain. Yeah.
Yeah, Pike. I knew the actor. But you know how I'm always talking about how much I really love Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside of You, with Michael Rosenbaum.
Right.
Well, Anson Mount was on it, and it didn't dawn on me that he was in Pool Hall Junkies with Rosenbaum. I go, that is not him, because the guy from Pool Hall Junkies was this skinny little weird kid who was scared of women because they were weird, and they were weird. And Pike is and I looked at him like, it's him. Holy shit, I love that guy. But to hear him talking to Rosenbaum about the show, I'm like, I'm in, because I like that guy. But Richard, did you see the announcement is who is going to be? I don't know if they said it was a regular, but who is going to be on Strange New Worlds? I'll give you a hint. One word: Taxi.
Oh yeah, she's there.
I'm like, Carol goddamn Kane, man.
Yeah, she's the new engineer.
Holy shit.
So technically, the way I interpret this, she's the engineer before Scotty takes over.
I saw that, and my mind was blown.
And she's like a Gaian type race where she's been living forever.
And did you hear what the latest, the big theory is? It's just fan fiction, but that knowing her race, that she is actually the same person from Taxi, because her and Latka's country were never said in that TV show. It was always it was one of those running things where it was like, where are you from? And then like an engine would start up or something, you know, or like they never knew the country that she came from. That she is actually, because they even said that she makes a couple references about like her earlier lives.
Oh.
That kind of, you know, like, oh, you know, I got into engineering because I was married to a mechanic. And I'm like, even I haven't gotten to see it, but I saw the clips that even my mind went.
Yeah, I really enjoyed in that time travel episode, they do a little bit with her.
I'm telling you, I haven't even really properly gotten to see it yet, Richard, but for me, it's headcanon. She was Latka's wife from Taxi. But just the fact that Carol Kane, man, because she is fantastic. Come on, Taxi, Scrooge, The Princess Bride. I mean, this woman is a cornerstone of our generation's fandom, man. You know what I mean? And I got to admit, man, when I saw pictures of her, well done. I'm not trying to be gross, but for a woman of her generation.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hey,
I like her in Scrooge as the Ghost of Christmas.
oh my God, dude.
When she takes the toaster and slams
Bitch, hit me with a toaster. I love a girl with spirit. I do. I love that woman. And if you'd have told me, if you'd have gave me a guess at who they were going to get, Carol, absolutely love Carol Kane. I would never have picked her. But man, that first picture that I saw of her in uniform.
Yeah, because I even shared that on our UVN.
Yes! I was blown away. Yeah, I'm done, Richard. I'm done talking about it. I'm getting Paramount. Yeah.
You can combine it with Showtime. Oh, I'm not a sponsor. I'm not affiliated with Paramount Plus, but I do have Paramount Plus. But
because it is really, Richard. I mean, honestly, Witcher was really the last thing that I had going for me with Netflix. And
yeah, I dropped Netflix a while back, but I might have to get it back because my one series may have a renewed third. Not official yet, but
which one? Wait, which one?
Warrior Nun has been maybe getting a third season.
Oh no, yeah, I read that because I watched the Warrior Nun. I liked that one.
Yeah,
that one was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't Witcher level obsession for me as it was.
right.
I enjoyed it. When the third season comes out, is it a draw enough for me to keep? Not me personally.
Oh,
but I did enjoy it. But I mean, really, that's about it. I mean, even this last season of Black Mirror, little on the lackluster. I mean, there was a couple episodes that were phenomenal, but a few of them just didn't even feel like Black Mirror episodes, and it was lackluster. And
yeah, there's just so many choices, and you just can't get everything. In my mind,
It is a monkey's paw, Richard. We got what we wished for, but we weren't careful in how we worded our wish.
Yeah. Well, I am kind of happy with Pluto TV as of today.
Go ahead, Richard. I know how excited you are. Tell everybody.
They launched the Godzilla channel, and we're talking with the Japanese version of the Godzillas. It's really cool seeing this stuff.
What was it you said you just got to watch here real recently?
It just started today.
Just started today. What, the Godzilla 20?
Well, it was Godzilla. Oh, what do you mean?
What did you say about Godzilla 2049? Or
well, no. What I was talking about was the channel Pluto TV just launched today.
Oh, okay. I thought you got a chance to watch something on it. No.
Well, they had just had the version of Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla 2. It was just playing just before we went on the air.
Okay, I got you.
But so, yeah, it's kind of neat to have because of course you can catch a lot of the stuff off of Paramount Plus because it is Paramount. It's weird how it's almost like a sidestep of Paramount. It's like the live version of Paramount Plus,
Yeah, it's like the affiliate network to the local network of
It's like live TV with commercials and stuff, so you have your commercial break. So it's just like how we used to watch TV, but a network,
Yeah, because that was where I was watching a lot of they had Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh yeah.
And it was like very nostalgic for me because not only was I watching Mystery Science Theater 3000, but like you said, with the commercials, it was like, what the hell year is this? Is this 1994?
It's one of them things, It's just like back to having cable all over again, right?
Yeah. Getting ready to wrap this up, though, but we wanted to mention, Richard, Gem City Comic Con is coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up. What is it? July the 22nd.
22nd and 23rd. It's a Saturday and Sunday this year.
Yeah. It's 22nd, 23rd, Dayton, Ohio. It's at the convention center as always. Should be a fun time. We're hoping to be down there on this Saturday for sure, maybe, or something like that. So you never know. You might run into us. I know last year I got sick, I think, again, didn't I? It's weird.
Yeah, I don't because
I think you went down on you and some friends went, but I think I
Yeah.
saw the whole thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
but that was like the year before. You couldn't go because your shift got changed and you had to work that weekend, but I went down on my own. So the last 2 years has been kind of rough, even with COVID and everything, but we still couldn't get down. So
because I think another thing that a lot of people forget is because we've been doing this for a long time that I don't consider us of the influencer generation, Richard, where it's funny to me when I hear our friends talk about their podcast and monopolizing or monetizing it.
oh
Bro, we don't get jack shit for this at all. So there's a reason why we don't get to do this as frequently and as regularly as a lot of our friends do. Brother, we got to pay bills.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
you know-
what actually costs us just to do this. So
Yeah. Because I think it was our good friend. I always have this meme. Dude, I have a Gatling gun of meme bullets waiting for any and all situations. But it was one of our really good friends, Allison Dickinson, was talking about her podcast. And it was something about like a sponsor or whatever. And a couple of people commented, and I responded with the meme from We Are the Millers, like, you guys are getting paid for this? I was like, I didn't wait. It is the thing that always gives me, Richard, like when I listen to like even my favorite podcasts, when I hear them, and I appreciate the fact that they always thank their patrons, and they're like, well, we couldn't do this without our patrons. Yeah, you could. We do. I mean, seriously, dude. I mean,
heck, we've been going running around bothering people at conventions since 2007.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, when I hear those people, it's like, oh, we like to thank our patrons. We can't do this without them. Yeah, you can. You got to set up in your basement, dude. Your friends are coming over. It's not,
Heck, we used to set up at a lot of shows just to have a table to promote who we were.
No
and stuff.
kidding.
I mean, we used to set up at Gem City.
Dude, we are still the pirate radio. Richard, we're the pirate. We are the underground. We are the pirate radio underground. Well, everybody.
At least they can listen to us later.
Yeah. We stepped up to there. Yeah. No, you and I, we are Wayne's World. We're not going to sell out, man, because when people sell out, it's just sad, man. Garth, and I'm gonna kick my Nikes up.
I got $2,000. I got $2,000.
That's what it is, Richard. Everybody of our later generation grew up with the concept of getting paid for podcasts. Meanwhile, me and you are still fucking Wayne's World. We are still even in the information superhighway age of broadband. We are still the public access of the internet, man.
I miss Google Video, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would never take a sponsor, Richard. Not just for when you're sick. I'm sorry, that was for the people just listening, that was the most Midwestern joke I could have made. I held up a can of Berner's ginger ale. And if you ever had a cold or the flu growing up in the Midwest, Berner's was like, it was chicken soup in Berner's.
Well, I was always 7-Up, but that's me.
7-Up too. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, 7-Up too. Oh man. But no, yeah, Gym City. Yeah, we'll. As of taping right now, this is the first. Richard and I will be down at Gym City at least Saturday. I'm kind of planning on going down Sunday just for fun. I'm still kind of debating on what I think. Look, if you go to Gym City, I'm just going to warn you now. Richard, look for Booster Gold. I'm really feeling, especially with the excitement of Blue Beetle coming out. You know, it's only going to be a matter of time. Come on, man. So yeah, but until then, Richard, where can everybody listening or watching find us?
Right now, best place is UVN.plus, PLUS. That's our main site where we have the video archive of everything we've done for, that's going to be 21 years soon. So stick around. There might be something called Project 21 coming out. Nothing finalized yet, but something might be called that sometime in September. But, it's one of them good things. Just go UVN.plus, or you can find us in one of the social media somewhere,
So, on behalf of Richard and myself, Michael, thank you for sticking with us. Like Richard said, out of these 21 some years, hopefully, life will settle out a little bit and you'll be hearing or seeing us a little bit more regularly. But until we are not going anywhere. We've been doing this for way too long. I could give two shits less whether or not we have sponsors or anybody. I just literally love talking to my buddy Richard here. And as long as the technology is available, we're going to make you listen to us too. So thank you, everybody. We hope everybody stays safe and healthy, which feels like weird to say now that we're post PC, but we hope to see everybody at a con real soon. So if you would kindly, Richard, I do remember this, please press the button.